It is 8 o'clock, guys. Hi, welcome to the 3-day debt-free challenge. I am Dr. Kenesha, and just a quick little bio for me is that I'm a pharmacist by trade, and I paid off $100,000 in pharmacy school student loans in 2017. Okay, and if you guys miss the initial 8 a.m. play of this, you can catch the replay for 24 hours. So I wanted you guys to know that, okay? And so over the next 3 days, we're going to be talking about how to talk to yourself, how to eliminate your debt, and how to make more money, okay? And then, but how we'll be doing this is I'll be taking you through really some introspection, some self-reflection, and behavioral changes that helps to create consistent money management habits, because we want you guys to be able to reach your desired results and outcomes, okay? Because honestly, this is all about our mindset and our behaviors around money. Honestly, it's about our mindset and our behaviors around money. So you'll hear me say that about 2,000 times over the next 3 days, because we think that it's not those two things, but it really is your mindset and your behaviors around money and how you spend all those things, okay? And so the first one we're talking about today is how do you talk to yourself? And we're going to keep it pretty short and sweet while we're on here, and then I'll try to take some questions if some people do have some questions. Hey, Christina. So your words have power, and minding your words is what ultimately changes your life. And I mean, we've only heard this about 10,000 times over the course of our lives, but have we really taken it to heart? That's the point, right? So it's really minding your words that helps you start to shift your mindset, because your words are what create your life, and your words can limit your life and create boundaries, okay? And so the words you use, we say the words you use are seeds, because once you plant those seeds in the ground and watering them with negative words or watering them with positive words, it shows you what can grow. So if you're watering your seed with more positive words, more positive actions, you can create a flower, basically saying. But if you're trying to water with negative words and negative actions, it just doesn't work. You don't create the bloom, right? And so your words are a choice also. You get to choose, and you can literally flip the script in an instant to say, okay, I'm going to take that negative thought, I'm going to take that I can't, or I won't, or I'm not able to something positive, to I can, I will, it's possible. That's how you really start to change your life, okay? So we're going to start with some truly like coaching introspection questions, okay? So what do you say about yourself when no one is around? When no one is around. So are you saying things like, you aren't enough, you're not worthy, you're not deserving, you're not capable of doing hard things? It's all of these words that we're feeding our mind that really, they basically make the decision for us about the actions that we're going to have from it. Because if you're saying that you can't, why would you all of a sudden be able to, right? So what should you be saying about yourself when others are around and when you're alone? It's really affirmations. So all of you guys have heard how powerful affirmations are. It's true. So I am smart. I am confident. I am intentional with my money. I can do hard things. It's these things that you tell yourself that will make you move past all of the obstacles and struggles that you have in your life, and then the obstacles that you have with your finances, okay? So what you're saying in your head and aloud, and then, because once you say it in your head, you're telling yourself and you're telling the world, you're telling the universe that I believe this, what I'm saying, right? So when you believe it, you said it aloud, you said it in your head, and now you believe it. Why should we expect that our actions are going to be any different? Why should we expect that we can now do something after we told ourselves that we cannot? Now our actions align with no, I cannot, right? So they dictate what you do and what your actions are. So what do you say to yourself about your debt when no one is around? Because I mean, if you're saying, okay, I don't make enough money, I need about 12 more jobs in order to pay this debt off. I don't have enough money coming in. I need a spouse to help me pay this off. I need to win the lottery. I need to have some miracle thing happen. I need to be left an inheritance, some miracle thing that allows me to pay it off. So why are you going to be able to pay it off if you believe it's somewhere in your head that you have to have some miracle happen in order to be able to do it? Okay. And my favorite saying was always, I'm going to die with this. I was 24 years old, came out of school with about 105,000. And then my parents had some for me as well, some Parent Plus loans for me as well. And I took over like the last little bit of it. So it was about $113,000, $115,000. So at 24, I was like, I'm going to take this to the grave. I'm going to take this debt to the grave. I'm going to die with this debt. And I mean, imagine those words at 24 that, and I kind of laughed it off. And I'm like, it's a little dark and twisty, really. Because I'm like, I'm going to die with this debt? Because I was like, it's too much. There's no way. It was overwhelming and it was too much. But that's also what I told myself. I told myself for the first 9 years that that's what I had to look forward to, that I was going to die with $100,000 in debt. I was insistent upon that at 24. I really was. So what should you be saying about your debt? What should you actually be saying? So I need you guys to ask yourself these questions, because they really are going to be the turning point for you, because they definitely work for me. Because I mean, you don't just wake up one day necessarily and everything's changed per se. So I really had to shift my mindset in order to get from point A to point B, because I couldn't, there's no way, I really don't think so. There's no way that I could have continued saying that I'm going to take my debt to the grave with me and then went ahead and paid it off. My mindset wasn't appropriate, wasn't correct in order to do anything, to have a positive action, right? So what should you be saying about your debt? There is hope to be debt free, which is exactly what we said, a mindset that there is hope, that I've seen either someone else do it, someone else achieve it, something. There has to be, some kind of hope. So, but I have to be saying that there is hope. I can't be saying I'm taken to the grave, right? That's not going to work. And then I can also put a plan in place to tackle this debt. So now we're looking at intentional behavior. So we'll talk more about eliminating debt tomorrow, but you're putting a plan in place, a budget, a spending plan, something to help you manage what's coming in and going out in order to help you tackle the debt. So it's an intentional behavior. So a consistent money management habits, okay? And my favorite was that I had changed my mind. I got angry and then I changed my mind. I was like, so it's possible I could do this? But it was like I really needed to hear other people say that they had done it and it was possible. For me, at least, I had to hear someone else say it. I had to hear their story. I had to hear their journey, what they went through. I had to hear it all. And you guys don't want to hear this, but maybe a sacrifice or two. But I had to hear it. But then once I heard that there was some hope, I was like, all right, no matter what, I was like, I'm going to pay off this amount of money in this time frame. And I was no matter what, it didn't matter. I actually posted on Facebook at one time that I was going to pay off this money. I was going to pay off $100,000 by the end of 2017. Can I tell you how many people thought I was insane? They spent paragraphs and paragraphs on Facebook telling me about how this was not possible. I was not spending my energy in the correct area. I'd be better off just paying off my house and putting that money towards that, or I'd be better off investing it, or the interest rate was going to kill me anyway, so it didn't matter how much I see. But this is their mindset. This is their mindset that has them it's ingrained, where they're saying there's no way the interest rate is going to stop you. Because I mean, the first 9 years, the interest rate was something that felt like it was stopping me, because over 9 years, I paid $100,000. And then in 2017, I paid another $100,000. So $200,000 over that time frame. So the interest does hurt. But in the grand scheme of things, like we'll talk a little bit about tomorrow, did it really matter as much as I said it did? Because as long as I wasn't listening to everyone else's, their ingrained mindset and thoughts and all of these things, I was fine. Because I decided I'm doing it no matter what. Because even my family was like, really? My sister was like, you're going to pay off $30,000 by the end of the year? This was like September or October. I was like, yeah. Although I was sitting there looking out the window thinking, how am I going to do that exactly? But I did have a plan in place. It wasn't like I did it. But will I say that the numbers really made sense? They didn't really make sense. But since I decided, I had the intention of doing this, of paying the debt off at the end of the year, no matter what, it happened. I'm like, to the point where it almost felt like magic. But it's because I changed my mindset and adjusted my behaviors in order to make it happen. So that was really it was like that pinnacle, that turning point that changed it all. Because I mean, I'm sure you guys are thinking this is ridiculous, and she's telling us that she paid off $100,000 by changing her mindset and her behaviors, but it's exactly that. Those two things is how it happened. And those two things are exactly what's going to help you do the same thing, okay? So how does your debt make you feel? This is mindset, right? This is mindset still, yet again. So for me, really the worst words you can think of, I felt bound, chained, shackled, like weights around my ankles, kind of bound, chained, shackled. A dark cloud that followed me everywhere I went. So a dark cloud that was over me when I bought my first house. I had chains around my ankles when I bought my first car on my own, right? So my first house, my first car, every vacation. So I would take a fancy vacation, and then I would get home and I'd be like, okay, so I just spent this much money on this vacation, and I could have put it towards my loans, even though, of course, I always enjoyed myself. I mean, try to live my best life, right? But when I got home, the loans were still there. They were still there. And it's like that little nagging haunting. You try to push it, in the back of your mind, but it's preventing you from doing some things in your life. Like you don't take some steps. So there are some millennials, there are some non-millennials, whatever you want to call them, that are not buying homes. They're not having kids. They're not getting married yet. They can't move. They're 30 years old and can't move out of their parents' house because they owe $200,000, $250,000 in student loans. So you can't tell me that's not a hindrance. You can't tell me it's not a hindrance, because it is. So think about how it actually makes you feel, okay? But then now you should also be able to describe how it feels to be without debt. I mean, what would that feel like? Because these are all mindset things, right? So I can change, and so can you, of course. You can change your mindset from thinking dark cloud, bound, chained, shackled, to, well, without debt would be freedom, right? You'd be able to go on vacation and it doesn't follow you home. It doesn't follow you home. So in 2018, I took a trip to Europe and I'm like, it didn't follow me home for the first time ever. And how I felt and just the feeling of that freedom was it was beyond words. It was beyond words, because I wasn't thinking about the debt while I was there, while I was gone, and I didn't have to think about it on the plane ride home, the 8-hour, 10-hour flight home. It changes everything. So it's the freedom you feel. It's feeling like you can achieve everything, anything you want. And I felt like that when I got back, because after I paid it off in 2017, I was like, so all this time I fed myself lies, right? Because if words have meaning and minding your words can change your life, I was basically using my own words against myself. And I mean, are you using your own words against yourself? And is that why you feel like you can't do this, like you can't pay off your debt? So you really need to ask yourself that. And then without debt would be like you could live a life that was had very little stress, very little worry. Because I mean, the statistics are pretty palpable, really, at this point. 8 out of 10 people are living paycheck to paycheck. The average student loan debt is about $30,000. The average car loan is right around $30,000. A little over $500 per month people are paying for a car loan. I'm like, even the credit card debt is in the thousands. So it's like you really have to think of both scenarios, how it makes you feel to have the debt and the words that we're saying, and then how it feels to be without the debt. But we need to be leaning towards those positive, empowering thoughts in order to have positive actions. Okay? So my challenge actually for you guys today in this short period of time is to change all of those negative thoughts about yourself, about your life, about your financial life. Every single thought or comment you have allowed in the next 24 hours, you change from, if it's negative, change from negative to a positive, empowering thought. So I'm going to take something simple. So I can't afford to go to dinner, let's say, right? So you change that negative thought into, I am setting aside money to go out to dinner. So now you've looked at, okay, I can't afford to go out to dinner. So this mindset of that you can't afford it to trying to adjust, not even trying, adjusting your behavior around money. So if you make a decision and an intention to set aside money to be able to go out to dinner with your friends, then what does that mean? It means you say, okay, I get paid twice a month. So each paycheck I can set aside $10 or $15. So if you set aside $15 per paycheck, that's $30 for you now to go out to dinner. And I'm like, these things are not as difficult as we believe they are. But we do have to have a shift in mindset, money mindset, and a shift in our behavior and our intentionality. That's very important. So the next 24 hours, every negative thought you have, you change to a powerful thought. And actually, I was like, I'm no perfect person. I'm still working on this myself. But while I was paying off debt, everything changed. My thought process about the debt changed from negative, I'm going to die with the debt, to I'm paying it off no matter what. And it was almost amazing because it was like the thought process never went back to, because you know how you waffle a little bit. You say, can I really do this? Can I really do this? I didn't waffle as much as I thought I would have. Once I decided that this was it, I was done. I committed to paying it off. And so in real life, after the fact, I still, waffle a little bit with certain things in my life or at work or outside of work or at home. But now I know that minding my words can change my life. And so you use that. And so you teach your kids that. You start doing it around the house. You start doing it at work. You start doing it outside in the world, changing all those negative thoughts to powerful thoughts. So the next 24 hours, that's my challenge to you. And so make sure you join me tomorrow for how to get out of debt. And if this is your call to action, so if you've decided that you're ready to shift your money mindset and your behaviors around money, go and click book now on the page, okay? So on the Dr. Kenesha Frazier page, go click book now, and then you can schedule a call to speak with me, okay? So if you decided that, then come on, let's go. Let's get started. I want to wish you guys a very happy Monday. Bye, Christina. Since you're the only person in here. Have a good day, girlie. Bye.